The average email user is emailing 500 or receiving 500 messages a month. Actually, some of you here probably a lot more. There are about 175 million people tweeting at any given time. That's a lot of tweeting. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but that's a lot of messages going across, a lot of links, a lot of files, a lot of pictures. And if you're one of the 1 billion people using Facebook, or close to 1 billion, about 800 million right now, you're seeing about 50 items a month. And again, some people a lot more. And that adds up. That adds up to about 70,000 items. That's a lot of items that people have up in the digital cloud. Your items in the cloud. And it's spread across so many different types of services. Yahoo, emails, Gmails, and Facebooks, and all these other services. Dropbox is another big one. And it's growing. There's more and more services getting added to the cloud all the time. Great services that you're going to want to incorporate. But the problem is when you want to find something, it looks like this. It looks like this. This is a mess. This is your life. This is you trying to find things. This frustrates us. This does not make sense to us. We want to change that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Mashpan, and we're going to digitally organize your digital information. Now, I'm going to show you what that means. Now, what you're seeing right now is not PowerPoint. This is not a fancy slide deck. This is the real thing. This is the real product. 6 months ago, the three of us saw this problem, and we were frustrated. We were frustrated with this problem. 6 months ago, we started thinking about it. Within 2 months, Jeff over here created a prototype, a working model, a proof of concept. This is ready to go. We're going to do an example here. Right now what you're looking at is a search box. You can go ahead and search something. On the right side you see the services we've integrated. We've integrated Gmail, we've integrated Dropbox and Google Docs. And many more are coming on a regular basis. Now a couple weeks ago I was in Chicago. This is something I did. And we're just running through it again to see it as an example. So you type in Chicago very simply and you click search. Now, what you're seeing here is fantastic. That is a word cloud with your information. It's one representation, one visualization of the information. You see Chicago and you see things connected to Chicago. Right now in keywords. Now, I'm looking at this right now. I'm thinking, well, if I was doing this regularly, if I wanted to do this through email, I'd want to find maybe my hotel reservation before I head out there. So I look for my hotel reservation and I click on it. And there you go. You actually have the email. This is opening up in the native client. We're not storing your data. We're not taking your data and putting it into another platform. We're just visualizing it for you. So you see the email, it looks great. Now I got to think, what else do I need to do? Well, I look at the attachments. These attachments are either pulled up from email or they're stuff put in Dropbox and Google Docs. And when you pull that open, and right here I see something, oh, this is interesting, a map. I'll need a map when I'm down there. I need to figure out where I'm going. You print out a map and you're ready to go. Here, this is an attachment pulled from email. This is my ticket. Instead of looking through my emails trying to find my ticket, it's pulled out as an attachment. I can pull it out right now and go ahead and print it. At this point, I might be done. I've got my hotel reservation confirmed. I've got the flight, I've printed out. I've got a map in my pocket. I'm good to go. But this is where the beauty of Mashpan comes in. You look at the cloud and you see if there's anything else interesting. I'm seeing a whole bunch of different items, and I see one that looks kind of interesting. It's contacts. So we click on that, and we open it up. And we see what happens. Now you see that the search has been limited to contacts in Chicago. And then, as I go through it, I can see that, oh, okay, there's a URL. Let's see what that was. It's taken out of an email, and it happens to be a contact. This is amazing. What happens here is this guy, happens to be Robert, is a guy that Jeff sent to me a couple weeks before my Chicago trip. He told me that, make sure you get in touch with this guy. I forgot about it, but Mashpan reminded me because it's part of the solution right here. He is a lawyer working on digital services. He works on internet services. He follows that area. This is interesting to what we're doing. He could have just as easily been a potential business partner. Or maybe he had a job offer for me, but I'm not interested, but maybe he did. Or maybe he's got a cute sister and he wanted to introduce me to her. I don't know. I have no idea.
You're not interested.
It's a joke. It's kidding. They wrote the script. So. No, it was absolutely, that last part was a joke. The rest was actually true. This is the beauty of Mashpan. This is what Mashpan is doing. Now, another interesting thing you could do is you could actually take something like this and you could save the search results and put it into a folder, a concept we call folders, and then go back to it later on, or maybe mark things as interesting, or mark a couple of items that you find interesting in terms of, let's save it, and let's push it towards my mobile phone, when you come on Mashpan with your mobile phone or your iPad. This way you don't have to see all this information. You've already kind of screened it through the desktop, and you can see it later, instead of seeing everything in one shot. Now that gets us to our users. So as of right now, we have about 300 beta users ready to go. And you can imagine most of them are students, which is fantastic because we believe students are one of our target groups, one of our main target groups. There are others, but we think they're a good group because they use these services en masse. They use these services tremendously. They're constantly doing everything online. So they're going to be great people to help them organize their information. Now we're going to release it. And when we release it to these different groups and we do things like A/B testing, testing with one group and then testing with another group, we know you're not going to love it. We know you're not going to be crazy about the service right away, but that's okay. We're going to take that feedback, incorporate it, and make it more useful. And with that, we'll get you to that level right there, where you're happy about it. But not just happy about it, where you actually love about it. And by April, we hope that you love it so much that you're telling your friends about it, and you become a key part of our marketing team. Now, we're thinking of a couple of different ways of monetizing this. We don't have the answers yet, but we think these two are pretty powerful. One, the integrated relevant advertising. Don't try saying that 3 times fast. IRA is just the idea of putting ads where they need to be. Now, it's worked. Having ads where you can click on and actually post stuff up works. Now, imagine this with your own data and how relevant that would be. A second monetization model we're playing with is the idea of the freemium model. We give the users a few services for free. Actually, we give them a lot of services for free. We give them to like 80% or 90% of the content. I think that'll be fine for most of you, but some of you might want to see everything else. You might want to see the full picture. And that's where we can kick in with a €5 per month type of charge. So you can sign up for it and get more services and finish up the services that you want and have everything in the cloud. And it goes also with the folders. The trip to Chicago, you save it in a folder. You can come back to it later on, annotize it, put it to your phone, all that other stuff. And you can do that with kids' school or stock picks or what have you, and upgrade for more. Don't look at this, please. This next slide, please. Jerome, don't look at this. Yeah, you scared me, actually. This is one. Now we're playing actually with the different kinds of assumptions. We're playing with different assumptions, and this is one that we came up with. We said based on assumptions we saw before, we want to and we need to grow to about 100,000 users plus by this time next year. This is a validation of this model. You guys actually like using the product. That's important. And then from that, our cumulative funding requirement, our highest funding requirement, 140,000. And by then, by August 2013, we break even. Now, this is a hot space. Organizing your information is a hot space. There are competitors out there. We've signed up for 40 services. We're looking at those services. We're trying to understand what they're doing. We're noting what we like. We're discarding what we don't like. In the end, this is us. It's almost of an analogy. If you're an artist, and as an artist, you have access to the same resources, a paintbrush, paint, a canvas. Well, your creation is going to be different. It's the same thing with open source tools. We are using open source tools. We are incorporating them, and we are building on it. But it's actually that user experience, getting the feedback from you and continually improving, doing stuff like A/B testing, doing decision trees, see how people are making decisions. To do this, we're focusing on the clustering process. This is what's important to us, the clustering process, putting your information in relevant areas. Right now, we're able to do it. Right now, this product is useful, and it's using keywords. It's going to get even more useful. We're talking to 2 algorithm experts, both of them who are eager to join, and they're giving us advice in terms of how to put the services in different areas. And they're even giving us some advice in terms of how we could even potentially patent the service. This might be another area where we can, once we get the results, we can kind of take it to the next level. Our funding requirements, 400,000 in the first year. 100,000 of this is milestone release funding. One of our biggest fears is actually we grow too quickly. We want to have the money ready so we can pay for the infrastructure services and additional people to help manage these additional users. This is if we go over 130,000 people in the first year. Now, behind any great service is a great team. Right here we got Jeff Gibson. Jeff Gibson has 7 years of software development experience. But even more important, he knows how to take a concept and turn it into reality, as you've all seen today. We have Liad Rubin. Liad, in addition to having a great name, Rubin Zubin, looks pretty cool. Liad is a fantastic marketer. He's been doing it for 6 years. He's worked for startups in Israel. And in addition, he knows how to get these users. He knows how to find these users, bring them to the service, and making sure that they're happy. He's going to advocate the user experience. And myself, 10 years of technical experience working for Silicon Valley-based companies, including VeriSign and Google, where at Google I was responsible for the global deployment of their infrastructure network, this specifically to the content distribution for YouTube. I know how to scale a business. And we have great partners. We're working with Tetuan Valley here in Madrid. They're helping to fill in the gaps. They're helping to fill in the gaps where we might not understand anything, giving us advice, being really critical. We have 2 mentors from Yahoo, one of them who's the director of strategy for sales in Europe, and he's introduced us to Yahoo Labs, specifically the search area, and they're giving us advice. We have an open invitation with Google Ventures. We can talk to them when we're ready. We're not ready yet. We want to wait till we get a little bit more traction and have a conversation with them and see where that leads. And of course, a lot of you in the room, the students and the professors who've been instrumental in helping us, giving us feedback, and getting us to this level. Now, this was us 6 months ago, our first meeting, where we started drawing this on a whiteboard. We've come a long way. We're very excited. We're excited about the next 6 months and beyond. We're moving forward. We really hope you'll join us. We really hope you'll go to the website, sign up for the service, give us feedback, and help us get it to the next level. Thank you very much.